Good morning, everyone. It's Valerie, otherwise known as Chick Picker. How's everybody doing? It's Thursday. Yay for Thursday.
Yay. Hey.
Let's see here. Switch account.
Thursday. There's Hank.
Yeah, so it's Thursday. Hope everybody's having a stop it. Stop it. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday morning. Time to get some stuff listed.
Well, I'm telling you.
It's getting bad. It's getting real bad. It's like there's nobody's buying anything. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, I got 5 packages going out, but it's still not a big
money. That's pretty good.
Still not a big money total. It's like,
yeah, but I mean, at least you know you're
filler.
Selling stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
5 things, and it, including shipping and everything, it was $90. So
yeah,
that's pretty low per item value.
Yeah. Oh, I know eBay has been
compared to
hating on me. I have never had so many goose eggs in my eBay career as I do right now. It is ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, thank goodness I have, other platforms, but I mean, they're not even putting out, so I don't know what's
going on. Dang.
I don't know. And I mean, yesterday I didn't get a whole lot listed. I think I got 2 things listed. But yeah, it's just I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It's sad.
I almost never list a lot of things daily. I try to. I get started. And I get about 3 or 4 or 5 listings and go, yeah.
That's enough.
Go do other stuff, or
yeah,
watch some YouTube videos, or
I know.
Just general pooting around instead of what I ought to be doing.
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna have to up my game here. Get some more, which I kind of expected I wouldn't get anything. I should have got something yesterday because I listed hard the day before, but I don't know. I don't want to say it doesn't make a difference because I know it does, but I think it's just slow for one reason or another. Can't really put my finger on it. Good morning, Shirley. Hope you're having a good morning.
Shirley.
So, time to get back on it. And I know, what was it? I know Tuesday I listed a bunch of stuff, but it wasn't like clothing. And they say that if you're primarily a clothing seller, that, and then you move to something different, it kind of takes time for that stuff to like register into the system, and so I don't know if that almost stumps it, and so it just kind of is at a standstill. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's just and then I just think there's slow periods. You know, people are trying to get their taxes done, or they're waiting for their tax check. Hi, junk lady. I never
Yep.
get to see you live, but I'm homesick. Well, I hope that you're okay. I'm glad you were able to come on and see us, but I hope you feel better. Sorry that you're sick.
Sick is not good.
But I don't know. We're gonna have to shake some stuff up here and start getting some sales. I got one sale on Poshmark yesterday. That was the only sale that I got. So one's better than none, I suppose.
Yep.
Beggars can't be choosers, I guess. But yeah, the surgery went fine. Everything went fine with that.
Oh yeah. Your father-in-law, he's okay.
Yeah, he's doing fine. He's definitely sore and everything, but I I text my mother-in-law yesterday or last night, and she said he ate some food, and you know, he's just trying to. He's not a guy that can sit still, so that's gonna be a challenge for him, you know, to not do anything, because I mean, he gets up every morning, goes to work, drives a truck still. He's 76 years old, and you know, when you do that every single day, it's hard to sit at home, you know.
Yeah. But I know a hernia surgery takes a long time to heal up from that.
Yeah. Well, because you're healing up from your incision from the outside, even if it's, healing up good and everything, you got to heal from the inside out. So it definitely takes time to do that, and the more you do, the longer it's going to take to heal up.
Yeah.
Morning, Sally.
Yeah, my father and uncle both had multiple hernia surgeries.
Uh-huh.
In fact, they were having to sew some mesh type material
Yep.
into Dad's gut to hold him together.
Mhm.
He had trouble. He had problems with hernia stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, I think you sometimes you get to the point where it's you tend to do more than what you're supposed to, and and then that just pops that little hernia out, and you just, I don't know, you got to be careful with that. Junk Lady says, I have a question. Where do you store all your inventory? Well, for me,
welcome to it.
Yeah. For me, I had to change, because I do mostly clothing, and so I had to change it up a little bit, and I had it in tubs, in one room that I had, basically just for clothing, and I had to change that up and put everything on racks. So I have everything's bagged, but yeah, I had to change it up because I was getting so much, and there was a lot of stuff to go through to find one item, and the system has been a game changer for me, you know.
Yeah.
She says she has 214 listings, and it's mostly in tubs in my house. I want to list more, but I'm running out of room. You're gonna have to find a system, you know. And it for me it was just evolving. I had mine stuff all in tubs, you know, and then I had to separate and put like different different sizes. Like I'd have shirts, you know, small shirts, and I'd have like 8 totes of small shirts. And so I did it that way for a long time, and then I had to evolve into different. But
Yeah, if you only have 214, I would get something now.
the
'Cause-
best one of the thing that I changed to, and I think Sally's done too, is you know, the number system. So you assign, you know, you have a rack or you have a shelf, and you know, you set it up A, B, C, D all the way through, and you know, you can do it that way, or you can put, you know, numbers on your items every time you list them, and put that in your SKU so you know where to look, you know, for the items.
I didn't do letters
Okay.
at all, because I thought, because I got halfway through it and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna go, this is A. This whole shelf is A.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the next one that I get will be B, and
Yeah.
I'll put B on it, you know,
Yeah.
and I'll
I
put
mean,
the numbers.
that's the thing about it is there's different ways of doing it, and but I would say I have over 2,000 items in my store now, so that's a lot of items.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you almost have to have shelves that go to the ceiling,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
or at least 6 foot tall ones, and
Yeah, mine are like
keep a
6.
step stool. But yeah, there's no way I could keep as much crap as I've got if I didn't have shelves.
Yeah.
And I don't have a ton of shelves. Well, I don't know. I probably have more. I probably have more than I should, because I need to get rid of some stuff that isn't selling. But yeah, and I got to quit buying big crap.
One thing that I would do is also, you know, go on YouTube and look for, you know, reseller inventory systems and stuff, like, you know, find out what everybody else is doing. And you know, like you did here, you know, you asked that question.
The one that can give you, sorry, I was just gonna say, the one that can kind of give you a good system to go by, or to somewhat mimic. You can make it however you need to for your business, but you know, because it's whatever works for you. But what is her name, Reseller Project? And that's the one that me and Valerie are kind of mimicking, but you could make it however you need to.
Yeah. I mean, you tweak it to what works for you. You know, you get the gist of it, and then you fix it how you want. I had so many items that were not even listed, and that was bad. That was really bad. But
I don't know how you did it for as long as you did.
I don't know. I think I just, you know, I knew how big of a job it was going to be and how
Yeah.
much it was going to pull me away
Switching over. Yeah.
listing but I knew I had to do it because I was just, number one, lifting those boxes, which they're, probably about 30 pounds each, lifting those, putting them down on the floor, going through a tote, it not being in the tote, and then, having to put everything back. I don't know how I did it. It's amazing that I went that long.
Yeah, I would agree because I don't know how you did it for so long without a system. I just I know that just me going through my clothing was a hard thing, and I know that you have probably 4 times as much as I do, if not a whole bunch more. So
because I've got about 30 totes of clothing that was not listed.
Yeah.
That I still have to go through and get listed besides all of my other inventory.
Right.
It's overwhelming. It definitely is overwhelming, but it's just one of those things.
Whose birthday is it?
Whose birthday? I don't know. And happy birthday to you. I'm trying to read back in the chat here.
You know whose system I like is Nick Hill's. He's got a fairly small office space, and yet he's got thousands of items listed.
Huh.
But all of his walls are just racked up with shelves.
Yeah.
And he sells mostly smaller items.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you compared what he sells to what like Craigslist Hunter sells, but Craigslist Hunter, he's probably got 20,000 square feet of storage.
Right.
It's Sherry.
But Nick is
happy birthday.
Nick's
happy birthday. What? Todd, sorry.
Nick's inventory is all in a very small space comparatively.
Uh-huh.
So maybe.
Yep. That's what we look forward to, is getting those discounts at the thrift store. It's got
Sherry,
3 more years.
Sherry's birthday?
It's her birthday today.
Well, let's sing.
Okay.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sherry. Happy birthday to and many more.
Channel 4.
Get out the door. Go scrub the floor.
Scooby-Doo on Channel 2.
Channel 2.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Sherry. Hope you have a really good day.
Yeah, that was probably hurt people's ears just then.
Hank says, oh, y'all hit those notes today.
So hit something. That's all right. I don't mind. Notes is notes.
They hit all the notes and ones I didn't even know existed.
There's cows and skunks lining up outside now.
Yep. Good morning, Karen.
It's like the call of the wild.
Karen's at the beach.
Karen's at the beach. Of course she is. I'm going to the beach next week.
I would love to be at the beach.
I would love to be at the beach too.
Galveston, oh Galveston, you can hear your sea breeze blowing
Never heard of that one.
on the days of Galveston. Glenn Campbell, not Glenn Campbell.
Huh?
Crap, I always forget who sings that song. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh.
I
Don't know.
watched the Apple Dumpling Gang yesterday.
The Apple
Oh my
Dumpling Gang.
God.
Yeah. It was made in 75.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like a comedy western, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just kind of.
That
I'm
worked.
feeling
That,
okay.
that woke Carol up.
Morning, Carol.
Carol.
So yes, junk lady, I would definitely back on the inventory. I would definitely, since you have such a small inventory, find out what would be a good, depending on if it's hard goods or clothing or a little bit of both. Try to find a system that will work for you, so you can make sure that you can find an item. I mean, it's amazing, and I've said this time and time again, but it's amazing. I was spending at least 2 hours trying to find stuff that had sold because I was having to go through several totes, and I would procrastinate because I knew it was going to be, that was a job in itself. And now it feels so good just to go in. I know exactly where the item's at, go in, grab it, and pack it up. I mean, that's just amazing to me. And it feels so much better. It was a hard, it took me probably a good month to get everything transferred over. But again, I had, at that time, I think I had 1,900 listings. So, and then I do have a rack for my hard goods. I have my shoes that are in bins, but I don't have a whole lot of those. And then I have a storage unit that has some of my hard goods in there too. But I don't sell enough hard goods to really make it a issue, I guess you could say, yet. But I know I'm going to have to do something with those also in the near future. Just because I need to know.
Or shoes or what?
Just hard goods.
Oh, hard goods.
Yeah. Because I have some here and I have some over in the storage unit.
Mm.
So it's kind of one of those things. Well, if it's not here, then it's got to be over in the storage unit, type
Hopefully.
of thing.
Crossing your fingers.
Hopefully, yeah, that's it. That's the key. But there's what I'm planning on doing with the hard goods is I'm going to do the pack it and track it system.
Mm.
I think that's by Duck.
Yeah.
And they have these little packets, and you put them. You have basically a code that you put in. I'm not really sure how it all works, but somehow you can put you can track everything that's in a tote. So when you're going to look for the item, you can go on your computer, your app, and you can go on there and you can see what tote it's in. So you can go directly to that tote and find the item. I don't know. It sounds like a good system. So.
Yeah, it does, especially for like hard goods.
But you got to make it work for you. You got to make it. I know Nikki had been telling us for years, do the number system, and for some reason it just didn't click. It didn't make sense until it did.
Right.
I don't know, until I wrapped my head around it and decided that's what I was going to do, then
Well,
that's
to me,
that's
that
when it
really
worked.
wouldn't. Really wouldn't work with hard goods, and that's what she does.
Right.
So yeah, it didn't make sense to me the way that she was explaining it.
Right. Right. So, with my hard goods, that is my plan, is to do it seems to be a little more doable with the pack and track. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try that. I haven't even started on that yet. I just finished my clothing inventory, got that situated. So
I'm not done yet.
I'm kind of taking a break.
I'm still not done. I'm probably not going to be done until I get a week off for vacation or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got to focus right now. I got to put all my focus on listing and getting my store numbers up.
Yeah.
And getting some sales. I guess Sherry had a couple of sales, so that's great.
Good job. Yeah. Mine, I had a goose egg.
eBay, I don't know what's going on. I do not know what's going on over there. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's like the sky's falling. Something's happening. But
Yeah.
How many did Todd get?
I got 5 going out, but they're like,
and he's gonna complain.
the
Screw you, Todd. Screw you.
most expensive item was $20.
Oh, poor thing. I'd take it. Send it to me.
But it's like, God,
Send me that moolah. I'll take it.
yesterday's sales were $90 for 5 items. Yay. You're like, each thing is like, God, is it really worth having, I don't know. And you only make, by the time you buy stuff, list it, ship it out, and you make $5, $10 an item. It's like,
it's $5 or $10 that you didn't have before, and you're
Why did
moving
I-
that stuff out.
why did I
You're getting
even
it
do
out
that?
of your inventory. So you have to look at the positive side about it. Don't
Well,
bash it. Be happy
Well-
you're getting sales. At least it's something. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, I need to find more expensive stuff to sell.
Yeah.
I keep telling everybody that, and
Yeah.
I don't follow
Like-
my own rules.
Exactly. Come on now. You're preaching to the choir there. I don't know.
But
Oh my
That's
God.
right, Sherry. It's like a roller coaster. One day we bought one, the next day they were starving.
And that's it.
yeah, it's like, look at those stacks of comic books,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and I will lot 4 or 5 together so they stay under £1 and list them. But I'm only going to get, if I get $10 for 5,
Why? So, okay, here's a question. Why do they need to stay under £1?
so the shipping cost isn't so much.
Okay. But if
Because-
people want them bad enough, they're going to buy them whether they're under £1 or over £1. If they want them, they're going to buy them.
Yeah. So you're saying I should make bigger lots and
Yeah.
for more money?
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
People like big lots too.
I like big lots and cannot lie.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, in this day and age, man, I really sound old when I say that. But I mean, if somebody wants something, they're gonna buy it and they're gonna pay the shipping,
Mhm.
because it's not, as much as people say people only buy stuff that has free shipping, that is not consistent.
It's
Because
a lie.
people buy stuff all the time. and pay the shipping.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you're right. I should just shut up and quit whining.
I'm
yeah,
glad we told you.
make larger lots so they'll fit into a regional box. You know.
Yeah, but the regional boxes don't always work though.
Yeah.
If he's in Texas and it's going to New York, that region box is not going to help him any. But a flat rate box would be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Like a medium flat rate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is a medium flat rate for us now? It's like
I think-
$13.
Yeah.
Something
Probably.
like that. Yeah. I think it's up to 15.
And I could probably put 20 of those comics in one medium flat rate.
Oh yeah. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some coffee.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Or you could even, what you could do is you could put a flat rate on some of those items, a flat rate of maybe $10, and then you can do that way. You could pay the $5. You could pay part of it, and then they could pay
Right.
the biggest part of it, and that way it's not overly costly for the customer. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's ways
I like-
around it.
I like charging a flat rate. It's, I don't know, just what I'm used to and what I like doing.
Yeah. But I mean, you just have to. Yeah, Sherry said that's how she does it, and that's how Hank does it. So
Just
Yeah.
lot everything up, huh?
yeah, I mean, I think people would be, if they seen 2 or 3 lots, of course they could probably purchase them and then get the combined shipping, but I think people would want more than 4 comic books in a lot. They might want a whole bunch of them.
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm
Play
dumber,
around with it.
I'm dumber than a box of hair.
Play around with it. See what works.
Yeah.
But Sherry, I mean, most of the time it all comes out in the wash. Sometimes you make a buck, sometimes you lose a buck, but in the end, I think it all comes out, it all kind of works out. And, that's what I think. I could be completely wrong, but
Yeah. When I look at like comics on comps on eBay, I see a lot of them getting sold for like $2 a piece. And I'm like, God, that's just too nitpicky. There's too much individual work and making a listing and I am definitely going to make lots, but I don't know. I guess I need to make bigger ones than I was thinking.
or you could do like a variation lot, which I know you probably don't want to do that because that's too much work, but you could have like 4 or 5 or 10 in a variation lot and say, well, you pick the one that you want, basically. Have a lot of different comics or something like that. That is probably a little too much work. Or sell them for $5. Hank says, I don't lot everything. Quite often it's better use of my time things would sell for $5 each. To me, it's not really worth listing time if I have 200 similar items, to each their own. Yeah. Everybody does their own thing. Shirley says, I think most people do not realize what shipping costs. Getting better as more stores close. I wouldn't if I didn't watch you. See, we're in the know. We let you know. Yeah, I don't. Me personally, I don't like a lot of things up. I would rather, just sell them individually and do it that way. And that's just me. It seems like it's more work if you lot things up. It may make sense or may not. I don't know, but get it listed, get it out. That's the way I play the game. So Hank says, just an example, like this comic book case, I do the same with clothes, pretty much everything, just depends. Yeah. I get it. What's new with you, Sally?
This week is it's gonna be rough. I mean, well, I'm saying this week and next week.
Okay.
It's gonna be.
Because you start tonight, right? You start back tonight.
Yeah, but I'm only doing 11 to 6, so that's not bad. But depending on when they have to have us there for surgery on Monday morning, then I'm going to have to maybe have somebody come in for me and work the rest of my shift or something. And then I'll be taking care of Brandon for next week. So I'll be his nurse.
What kind of time? So do you work Sunday night?
Yes.
Okay. And then do you work Monday night?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm probably not. I told my boss, I said that I was going to have all of the first of next week off. So like probably Monday through Wednesday, something like that.
Yeah.
He is, I already know that he's not going to be doing much with this. So
with his job, did he take that time off too?
He had to.
Okay.
They told him a week.
Yeah.
So they said that he would just be way too uncomfortable to be working. So
he's probably not going to want to wear, probably the most clothing he's going to be able to wear is his uniform, which is his boxers.
His uniform.
If that, he may have to be in the buff for,
yeah,
a couple of days, because that's just an odd place and, an uncomfortable place. And
yeah.
So, yeah, he's gonna.
And you know how men are.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Oh my
God. What?
Yeah. Todd knows how men are.
Yeah.
Y'all know how you are.
We're not whiny titty babies when we're sick or hurt. No.
Yeah. What's Gwen's number?
Yeah. I'd rather, no, I'm not going to say that. It's just going to be bad. I know it. I know this.
You just gotta, you work together and, and you try to, get through it. And
he has a abscess in the taint. That's the best way I can describe it.
That's what it is.
Dr. Sikovich was telling us the other day that there was an 87-year-old guy that was trying to tell the doctor that was the only word that he can figure out for that area. And Dr. Sikovich was dying inside because he's got this 87-year-old guys talking to him about the taint. Yeah. The perineum, that's a medical term for it.
There you go.
And so, but yeah, that's what it is. And so he has an abscess there. And so basically it's cutting it open and draining.
Yeah.
And they don't close it. And so here comes Nurse Sally
It'll
to
just
the rescue. We have to go the next day,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to show me how to change dressing, which I know how to change dressing, and I might even talk to Dr. C about that and see if like he could just tell me basically what to do, because I've had experience doing that. So
Right.
Yep, between the balls and butthole.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, rather than having to go back, I mean, that's kind of a pain in the ass, to have to go back and everything. If he could just show you how to do it.
And I don't have real good shocks on my truck, so it's a bumpy ride,
Yeah, he's probably gonna have to have his butt up in the air and.
Well, that's why I told him we're gonna have to take a pillow for you, because I know just with my surgery for having my the hernia surgery, I was I was in my brother-in-law's car and it just was very low to the ground, and
he's probably gonna need one of those air pillows.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, I'd probably be about the most that would probably work also in the bathroom.
That's funny, Hank. Date the balls and date the butthole.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
You look thoroughly confused this morning.
Do what?
And you look thoroughly confused this morning.
I am this morning.
Hey there, bum crack picker. Good morning. Yeah, Sherry says these are times that are going to challenge a marriage.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
Give him what he needs, and just grumble under your breath in the other room. Yep, that's how it's done.
What is Sherry's issues today?
It's her birthday.
It's her birthday. She can do whatever she wants.
Well, happy birthday, Sherry. I'm glad I don't have to live with you today.
Sherry has a hall pass. Sherry has a hall pass today.
Yeah. So it's gonna be some trying times. That's all right.
Sure.
She was whining yesterday about her old man just bitching about politics all day. So.
Oh gosh. I'll be glad when this election thing is over.
Hey,
Me too.
Crack, I will too. And you know what? The worst part has not even got here yet.
Yeah.
Now the thing about it is, every damn video, if you got a long video, you need to have it advertising all the way through it, because that's all anybody's going to see is political ads, and they don't care who that sees those. They don't care what kind of content you got. They just want it out there.
Mm-hmm. I know Fisher and Pickens says, hell no, losing a testicle, it's easier than it sounds.
Well, listen, I saw that and I was just ignoring that. That made my head hurt just thinking of it. But good morning, Bum Crack. So Sally, I signed up for that thing yesterday. And I posted a receipt.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Thank
you. I guess you'll get your bonus points at some point.
Yeah, it's like it comes on quick actually.
Does it?
It's like, yeah.
I already had it.
Oh.
I think I can't remember if it was Julie or if it was, I think it was Tina that told me about it.
Yeah.
And so I had downloaded it and got it, but I hadn't been using it.
Well, make sure you do.
I'm doing it now. I'm being good.
And any receipts, like as long as they're not handwritten, Any
Yeah.
receipts will work. And like some things you'll get, like Brandon bought Nor rice or something, the Nor rice packets.
Uh-huh.
And I got like freaking 150 points for that or something.
Mhm.
Besides the rest of my receipt. So there's like special things that they give extra points for. But I just got my third $10 gift card yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Now, who did you get it for?
I get it for Walmart because that's where I do my grocery shopping, or
Okay.
that's where Brandon usually does his grocery shopping.
Okay.
Which I'll probably be doing the grocery shopping next week.
You are going to be so
Yeah.
busy.
I know.
You're going to be so busy.
Are you taking some time off, or he's going to have to fend for himself while you're at work?
I'm gonna take the first of the week off. But that'll be just like my normal days off probably.
So you're not taking like family leave or any of that kind of stuff?
No. And I mean, she might actually give me a couple of days if she can. She might actually give me a couple extra days. We'll see what happens. I told her, I said I need at least the first part of the week off, just to get him situated.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'll be doing the running.
She'll be Nurse Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing and Pickens says they didn't stitch me up after surgery. They super glued me.
Yeah, that super glue works good, I've heard. Well, when Jonah was 4, I took him bowling for the first time, and he went like that and landed on his chin when he threw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I took him to the bathroom, and all I could see was bone.
Oh,
and it wasn't even bleeding. It wasn't even bleeding. That's the thing. Like it was just a couple of drops, and then yeah. And so I took him to the hospital and stuff, and they were like, we don't usually use this glue on kids because they just like to pick at it, and then they end up coming back in here anyways and have to get stitches. And it's just, too much heartache for the kids, especially being that young. I'll be right back.
Okay.
We don't want to talk about injuries where it's exposing bones. That really gets me. Now, if I'm in an emergency situation where it's right there in front of me, like Roberta was unloading the dishwasher and stuck a knife straight into her wrist.
Yeah.
I was exhilarated, but I wasn't freaking out. I was like wound up. I was in the shower. I just stepped out of the shower, didn't dry off nothing, threw on some drawers and some shorts and a t-shirt, my flip-flops, and out the door to the emergency room we went.
Yeah.
Other than being like, hyped up, I didn't freak out or nothing like that. But I can watch something like that on TV, or y'all can start talking about it, and I start feeling lightheaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like,
I get it.
I can't stand to hear the sound of somebody throwing up, but when my kids were little, or when Roberta was so sick and she would throw up, it didn't bother me a bit. But be someplace else where people start to throw up, like on an airplane.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah, get me out of here.
Let me turn the sound up on my iPod.
Yeah, so they did the glue on Jonah's chin. And I just made sure to tell him, don't touch it. Do not touch it. If you touch it, then you're going to have to get stitches. And that was enough for him. He didn't touch it. So it healed fine. He has a little scar, but you can hardly tell.
Thank you, Hank. Hank says I missed all the important stuff.
He's got a date today.
Who
With
does?
Another girl? Or
that other girl? Oh, poor thing.
Okay.
I just she wanted to have babies, and Jonah was afraid that he was going to get locked into a situation that he couldn't get out of.
Smart
boy. Smart boy. I tell mine, 3 minutes of pleasure can last you, cause you a lifetime of
Hey,
pain.
over a lifetime,
Yeah,
actually,
because I keep telling them, you have a baby, whether you really like the girl or not, you're stuck with her the rest of your life, whether
Oh,
you're
yeah.
married to her or not.
yeah, it
Absolutely.
You're
doesn't
stuck
it
to
doesn't
her
matter.
the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, that's
And-
good. I'm glad that he was,
Yeah.
you know.
He told her, I don't want kids right now.
Mhm.
And
He's a kid himself.
yeah, she was adamant that she wanted kids right
And
now.
she wasn't very receptive to that, so that didn't work out. Well,
That's Jonah.
that's good. I mean, it's not
But-
good, but
But this girl that you see today is somebody that his brother seen.
Our kids would probably just die if they knew about all the stuff that we talk about them being
Probably.
broadcasted across the world and being recorded for everybody that comes along
My
after.
son knows. My son knows. Though.
I know that, but I'm just saying they just freak out.
Yeah. That's what
shoot,
I
my
said.
kids are normally on here.
I know, right?
I can't talk about nothing.
We'll jump out there. Okay. Oh, before I forget about it, over the weekend, I'm going to put a little video together about the proposed cruise
Okay.
Okay.
with some expenses, and I'm also going to put some links to some other people that I follow that have been on the Vista. One of them it's about a 45-minute tour, but you see everything of the Vista, which is the ship that we're looking at going on.
Okay.
So people can start making up their mind, because we probably would want to go ahead and start. If we're going to do it, we need to go ahead and start paying deposits that way, especially people that's wanting to make payments over it can.
Yeah, definitely.
They can. They have time. They can go ahead and get started on it.
Yeah,
So, because I do think that would be a lot of fun.
that would be a blast. I think that would be, that would be a lot of fun.
Especially on the sail away day when they do crazy crap. Like, I'd like to see Todd do the runway show.
No, you wouldn't.
Oh Lord. Anyway, I'm gonna put that out over the weekend. So if you're not subscribed to me, how about do it at least long enough to see the video?
There you go.
Well, put a hey in there or something so they can get subscribed to you. Click the 3 little dots on the right hand side, and it'll say one of them will be. Let's see. What does it say? Go to channel. That's what it says. Don't
Yeah.
report or block,
Yeah.
but go to channel.
So,
Yeah.
So for any of you that don't know, we are planning a reseller
Sail away.
sail away, a cruise for next year for May. Was it May 4th?
I think it's like May 1st through May 8th, which is like Saturday to Saturday.
Okay.
2021, right?
Yeah.
2021. And you're responsible for all your, there's nothing going to be paid for by us. You're responsible for your airfare and your cruise and the whole thing, but we're trying to get something together so we can, all be on this cruise together and hang out and meet each other and have
I
fun
think it
and
would be so fun.
Do it face to face instead of
everything,
the internet. I have reached out to a bunch of different companies about do they have any like freebies or anything like that they could send us so we can make up some like little swag bags or stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So see
I mean, you might even check with, I don't know if this is something that you would want to do, but I mean, you might even check with eBay and see.
I've already sent
You've already been on that road.
Yeah, I've already okay, eBay, Macari, Posh, Etsy, and then I've done the USPS, I've done pirate ship.
Dang.
I've
Good
sent
job, Tom.
I've sent some other ones too, and I can't remember who the hell I sent them to. I'd have to look at my list. But just saying, you got something, if nothing else, some like giveaways. We could do like a little raffle. We know who everybody's on the ship, I
Right.
mean, everybody in our group.
Right.
Even if they send like some coffee mugs or some mouse pads or something like that.
Something
And
simple.
Yeah. Look at you, little event coordinator.
I know, right?
I just would I'd like for it to, and I haven't even gotten Roberta involved in it yet. But
Why don't
just
you
just
go?
something a little extra there, and everything that you pay is to cover your expenses. There is no like convention fees or any of that
No,
kind of stuff.
no.
Yeah.
It's only, your transportation's you, your ship's on you. One thing I have talked to a lady about, coordinating the booking on it all and that kind of thing. And I said, she said, well, if you have so many cabins, then you get a little bit of discount, and the more cabins you have. So I said, well, let's just do it. Just give us the best rate you can get in the get-go. But then if we get a discount, just credit it to everybody's cabin so they can spend it on board, buy another drink or something like that. I mean, that's probably be the best way to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that way, it'd be a little surprise if we had 40 cabins going, and everybody get $10 in their daggum room credit,
Yeah.
that'll buy a drink.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get that put together because I really would like to.
Now, what do you think about? Because I know that there was some slight concerns about maybe that being too long of a cruise. So there was a couple of people that maybe said, maybe we could do like a 4 or 5 day.
Okay.
But I don't know.
Well, the thing about it is
it's a vacation, though. I mean,
yeah, it's a vacation.
You
And
gotta
some
look
people,
at it that way.
and we're looking at going out of Galveston, Texas. The reason why it is a port in the center of the country.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody up in the Northeast and the Northwest, they're going to travel a little bit further.
Right.
But we're trying to get it so it make it easier for everybody to get there.
Mm-hmm.
People can drive if they want to, if they want to go that route. They got 3 kids they want to bring.
So
and then while we're there, we'll decide, if everybody's agreeable to doing it one more time.
Yeah.
Or, people want to do it one more time, then we'll flip a coin to see if we go to East Coast or West Coast.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, and I don't live in Texas, so I don't know, but is it fairly easy to get from, say, is there an international airport around Galveston? So probably the closest would be like maybe Houston Airport.
Yeah.
Probably. Galveston might have an international airport, not international like LAX or Charlotte or New York.
Smaller international.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know Charleston,
into
South
that.
Carolina was an international airport, and they apparently have flights to Europe several
Okay.
times a day.
Okay.
So
that might be something we need to maybe verify.
Yeah,
that would be a issue if somebody had to, get from Houston to Galveston. That, you'd have to put that into your expenses.
Right.
and when they say Saturday to Saturday, that's Saturday afternoon. It departs like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and then you get back into Galveston like at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to give you, if you're driving, that's going to give you almost 2 days of driving. Time to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're flying, then you got plenty of time to, if you want to stay overnight and then fly out the next day, you can do that too.
Yeah.
So like I said, I want to get that put together something this week with some links to different channels so you can see the ship.
And that, and this is for anybody that wants to go.
Yeah.
I know that, Tom asked me, is this for everybody or just us? And I'm like, anybody can go,
Right.
and so if you are on a different channel and you want to know, you want to spread the news, yeah, definitely spread that news, and they can get a hold of me or Tom, and
We just want to have a good time.
that's
We spend so much time together as it is.
we're doing May, 1st of May next year, 2021,
Right.
Texas style.
And she
That's what
better
we're
have her
planning on.
butt there, because all she got to do is she can pedal her bicycle and be there in a day. You know, and it's while we're there, we can, one of the ports of call is the Cayman Islands. We can go to Hell while we're there, because there's a place called Hell at Cayman Islands.
Nice. I've been there before.
It looks like hell. That's if it's still there. There's been so many tornadoes, I mean hurricanes that's been through there since I've been there. It might not even be there anymore.
Well, I was gonna say it probably doesn't look the same as what I seen it.
Yeah. So, you know, and you know, if you've got like Joanna's got 2 little small kids, well, you can get a cabin with upper bunks, and they have rails so they don't fall out and all this kind of stuff. You can slap them up there. They don't pay full fare.
Right.
Or if there's 4 of you want to go, 4 adults, and y'all want to get a cabin together that will hold 4 adults, and then split it equally 4 ways, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
just and definitely you know, the balcony and the suites and all that are nice, but really, and you're really not going to be in your room a whole lot other than sleeping. So just keep that. The rooms are small.
yeah.
They're not. I mean, they're smaller than the average hotel room. They're, you know, they're very compact and very small, but I mean, you know, you're just using them to sleep. So
An inside cabin is probably for per person is gonna be like, let's say around $700. That's including tips and port taxes and your room. But you got to remember, you got 24-hour food if you're an eater.
yeah.
You've got entertainment going all the time. We really like cruising, and what Valerie said is true. Now, when Roberta and I go, just the 2 of us go, like we went to Charleston, and on my channel is a video of the room that we stayed in. We would go out and we just go sit in on our balcony and watch the water go by and read and play game on our laptop. It was a relaxing weekend, just getting away from our kids. But if you like what if we have a big group going, or a group going, you're not going to be staying in your cabin.
There's
a
always
buddy of
stuff
mine's
to
daughter,
do.
a son was getting married, and he was talking about doing a cruise. And I said, man, a cruise is not what you want to do on your honeymoon. Lots of people do it, but that's not what you want to do, because you're not in your cabin unless you're sick.
Right.
Or
now,
you're drunk.
My daughters, we went on the cruise with my daughters, and they were teenagers. They hated the cruise. They absolutely hated it, because there wasn't anything for them to do. There was supposed to be an arcade area, and you know, they were, I don't know, 16 and 14 or something like that. And you know, there was supposed to be all this stuff for them to do, but that was under construction at the time that we took the cruise. So there was nothing really for them to do. They weren't really, you know, excited about the whole trip, to tell you the truth.
Well,
so they did spend a lot of time in their rooms. But
a lot has passed since then, because those girls are now in their late 30s or early 40s. You know,
they're not. No, they are not. They're in their early 30s.
Are they? I thought they were in like their late 20s.
No.
Anyway.
No, Julie's 30 and Tina's 32.
They have got 3 clubs set up for children, like toddlers or elementary school age, middle school age, and high school age. And those things are set up, and they run. I think they have I think the high schoolers have a midnight curfew. and I think the rest of them have like a 10 o'clock curfew where you're supposed to be either in your cabin or you're supposed to be with a parent or guardian. They will have plenty to do. The girl that I'm going to be sharing their link, she has she has 2 teenage boys now. Her oldest one's in the Marines. They've traveled, and she talks about that on the at sea days that she don't see the kids because they're doing their own thing, and she and her husband are doing their own thing.
Yeah.
So like I'm gonna go back to Joanna. I don't even know if she's in here or not. She's got small kids. They can take them by there and let them play because they have all these activities and stuff like that. I've had one comment. I have had a comment where a person was talking about, well, it's right there at the end of the school year for people in school.
Mm-hmm.
It's we're looking at cheap rates.
Yeah.
Okay. And also use it as motivation. I mean, when I was a kid, we never just let out of school. We were sick if we let out of school. Because if my dad decided he wanted to go fishing in Florida for a few days, and we were going to take leave Wednesday night to take Thursday and Friday off from school, we took Thursday and Friday off from school. We did not have any, oh man, do I have enough days left, of excused absences.
Right.
So use it as a good motivation.
Yep.
Get them to help you. It's the older ones, get them to help you with your business, do whatever they can do.
Yep.
It's motivation for them. Because
so how does that normally work when you're setting up an account for yourself, and when you want, so basically we're going to have a place that we go through, a company that we go through,
right,
and then we have to set up our own deposit and our own basically our account to pay it off.
We'll have a designated agent.
Okay.
That's taking care of the group.
Okay.
And what you can do is you can like if you want to do monthly pay, pay a minimum for deposit and then pay the minimum monthly on it, and then pay the rest of it off at the end. Then you just go into your account. You'd log into like carnival.com.
Okay.
And log in and pay your deposit, or you can have it on automatic deduction if you want to.
Right. Okay.
Now, the reason I'm big on Carnival is because Carnival's who we've always gone on, and we've got a bunch of trips. You get a card, and that's what unlocks your door. Actually, I think on the Vista you have a band, sort of like Disney's Magic Bands. Okay. I'm not sure about that, but that's what I heard. That they're doing that now. Mm-hmm. And each one, the more trips you sail with Carnival, the more perks you get. Mm-hmm. And so we've got enough. I think Fish said he was like a platinum. Is that right, Fish? Is that what you told me? Because they've been on so many cruises. He's 12 days away from Diamond. So that means he has taken a lot of trips. If you've sailed with Carnival again before, they'll ask you about, or the agent will ask you about that, and so she can help you get your number back up. And like we get, I'm just at a red, and Roberta's at a gold, because she went on a couple of cruises with some girlfriends. She gets a little pin, every trip, and we get a bottle of water, a big bottle of water for each one of us because we've sailed before. And that's the reason why. Yeah. That I like Carnival. I've not had any problem. I've not ever had any problem with them. Yeah, there's some more fancier ones out there, but when you come, if you're not worried about money, then I'm all for let's fly into London and taking the Queen Mary back to New York, okay? But I'm just thinking keep this first time, especially if you haven't cruised before, keep it kind of inexpensive. Going back to the 4 and 5 days, go to a 4 or 5 day cruise instead of a 7. The
Now,
only reason I picked the 7 was because people are going to be traveling. People are going to be spending money for airfare, or they're going to be spending money for gas and whatnot.
might as well make it, and I agree with you. Like, when I took a 3-day cruise, it was like, man, I could have used 4 more days of that. You know, it just went so quick.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you. I think it would be, you know, I would recommend a 7-day, just because it, you know, it's a better vacation,
And
know.
you're really getting more bang for your buck.
especially if you're, you know, if you are spending the airfare and, you know, the money for that. I mean, it's worth it. It's
Yes.
worth it. It's worth the longer. And
The
you
Vista
don't
is
spend
one of the
you
larger
don't
ones.
you don't spend all day on the you know, they hit different ports and you get off of those on you know. And I don't, the thing, the place that we're going, you don't need a passport, correct?
I've actually inquired about, by the time we go, should we have passports? Right now we don't. All you
Okay.
have to do is have a driver's license and a
Okay.
birth certificate.
Okay.
Um,
But by the time that rolls around, are you going to need?
I don't know right now.
Okay.
You know, because that whole just for federal buildings, you're going to have the real ID by October.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm right now. No, you don't have to have one.
Yeah.
Because they are kind of pricey.
Right.
But with that being said, we had enough people like like the cruising and want to do something, you know, do another one in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
We might go someplace you need a passport.
Right.
So,
Yeah. And this one is setting sail off in Galveston.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. So really you could be there a couple of days early and do stuff
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
right there, and then you know,
Yeah.
get on the cruise, and then I mean I may make it
I mean,
a 2-week thing.
you know, I mean, that's the thing. If I'm in Texas, I'll, you know, by that time, I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, truthfully, you could come, you know,
Yeah.
stay with me for 2 or 3 days before that, and then we could
Mhm.
go together. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's a possibility.
Because see,
Yeah.
Sally's going to need to tell her boss right now that I'm in 2021. I'm going to be gone for 10 days. So figure out the way you want. Figure out how you're going to do it.
Yeah,
I'm
But,
gonna
you
say
know-
I'm gonna say a good 14. I mean,
Okay, you don't shoot for the whole 2 days or 2 weeks, huh?
mhm.
See, like now, Craig has a son that's homeschooled, so he can't. You know, Craig can't say, "Well, we've got a child in school," because there's a lot of quiet places during the day when you're at sea that are not open. Like there's bars and places like that. I mean, like the piano bar is usually closed during the day at sea. It's open at night, but you can still go in there and sit down. You know.
sure.
You can go in there and sit down, and there's another place called the library that you can go in there and sit down, and they can do studies. Yeah, Jason.
Hey, you know what? I got a living room, and you know, we'll get some air mattresses, and I'll have at least one couch, and you know,
She'll be near Texas Val, and Val's got that big old 50-foot fifth wheel, so she can put up at least 10 or 20 people in that.
There you go. There you go.
Time she gets all the extensions out. I just think it would be, you know, we seem to get a lot. Now, we might never speak to each other again after a week on a cruise ship, but I just think it'd be fun to get together and do this. And you don't have to be with each other all the time.
Nope. And there's
This
plenty
ship
of
is
room on
huge.
that cruise where, you know, you're not going to see, you know, unless you're hanging out with people,
Yeah.
you know, you're really not going to see a whole lot of, you know, this. There's a lot of
you will
people.
have to make a point. And one of the things I also checked in is you, and maybe if we had a big enough group, we could get it for free, but you can get onboard texting, because once you go out on the ship, you flip your phone over to airplane mode and you connect to their network, and you can your account, there's an app for your account, and you can get like the daily events, menus at the restaurants, all that kind of stuff goes to your phone. But if there's for like $5 per person, you can get like texting. So members of your party, like we always get it because we could keep up with the boys and say, okay, we're getting ready, we're going to the cabin for a while, blah, 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 blah. I'd like to know whether there's a way you could do it with a large group, like say, hey, we're all going to rendezvous in the red hot piano bar. You know, we're going to take over, that kind of thing. I'm not sure about that yet, but I'll find out about that.
Reseller shack up.
Yeah.
There you go.
If any of y'all want to hook up, y'all knock yourself out.
Walkie talkies. Oh, okay.
You walkie talkies, yeah. Because when you're moving around through time zones and you kind of do that, you always stay on ship's time.
Right.
Because the ship's time is the time that you use to, so you don't get left behind.
Right.
You don't get to the ship back on time.
Right.
And if you don't feel comfortable getting off at any of these places, you don't have to get off.
No, you don't have to get off. You could, you could stay on the boat.
And you can, you can eat. You can, if you want to get something to eat while you're out, then that's fine.
That was one of the big things about that really enticed me about, I mean, it's room and board, it's, all the food, you can eat 24/7 if you want to.
The ice cream machine goes 24 hours a day.
That's right. And those things are really enticing. And so, yeah.
And when you're in the dining room, hellfire, that's the safe word. Yeah, that's right. When you're in the dining room, if you're looking at the menu and you're like, for appetizers, I have a choice between, you have all these choices, but I'd like to have the frog legs, but I'd like to have some escargot too. They'll bring you both.
Yeah.
I mean, when our boys went with us, it looked like we had a party of 20 sitting at our table because our boys were like, I'd really like to try this. And okay, I'll bring you one of both.
Yeah.
So they would have like 2 appetizers apiece. And then they would have a couple of the main courses each. And I'm gonna tell you what, the chocolate volcano cake on Carnival Cruise Line is the best. It is just hot chocolate-y goodness. Shacking up, moving through the time zones, no idea where you're giving.
Yeah, that. It just sounds fun all the way around. So
it is a lot of fun. It can be, there's 2 parts of it, I'm gonna be honest, or 3 parts of cruising that is not the best. One is getting on the ship. One is when you do a mandatory fire drill. And the third one is getting off the ship.
Yeah.
While you're on the ship, if you have a problem, they will take care of it.
Yeah.
Like I said, but I've never had any problems.
No.
The fire drill, you have to like jump off ship or something?
No. You do this before Carnival does it before you even leave port. You have to, you have a designated place that you have to go in case they have to evacuate the ship. And they what they do is they show you where that spot is, and you are there with everybody else in your party, and they just kind of run you through what's going to go on. Now, mind you, if you're saying I'm going to just hang out in my room and not go, they will come find you.
Yeah.
They have keys that can open all the doors.
Oh yeah. You have to go.
They will.
Hmm.
Time for the fire drill, and pop that key in and open the door. So you better not be doing nothing. You should be up at the fire drill.
Yep.
Okay, dude, you got about 2 more minutes, and you better be up there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's. I no, well, see, that's just it. They just give you just enough. They give you enough chocolate volcano cake,
Yeah.
just enough to make you want to come back on another cruise just for the cake.
You don't want to have enough to make your own chocolate volcano.
Yeah, and I've been through a ship in a hurricane, and it was a small ship, and I didn't get seasick, but also was raised on boats and going out ocean fishing and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, really, you just have to prepare for. You have to prepare that you're going to. There's a possibility that you're going to be sick on there. And take some Dramamine, take some patches, and prepare
Most
for
of the
that.
time, you feel you'll be walking down a hallway. Now, when you first get on it and you're at sea, you will notice it because you're not used to it.
Sure.
But by the time you get up the next morning, you will not even notice unless it happens to be really rough. And then these big ships, you don't feel it that much. But sometimes when they're traveling and they're going into larger waves, you might feel a little lull.
Yeah.
Other than that. And you're supposed to be having a good time. Unless you're drunk, then you won't notice it. But you can blame it on the waves that made you fall on the floor.
Yeah.
But it's
Morning, Julie.
Julie.
It's a lot of fun.
You don't have to be like a reseller to go. If somebody else wants to go, that's your sister and her husband. And
yeah, I think Shirley should go.
I think Shirley should go too.
Who is Shirley?
One of our viewers.
Yeah. Are you here even?
I don't. What's her name? Shirley?
Her name's Shirley.
Yes, that is her name. Where have you been?
How do you not know Shirley? She's been watching since probably you have.
Yeah.
She must be quiet.
She is not a reseller, but she watches us faithfully every day.
Are y'all friends, or she just stumbled upon this?
She stumbled upon us, and she stuck with us.
Yeah.
Through thick and thin.
Anybody can go.
She watches us for like comedy hour.
Oh yeah.
She's she maybe wants to be a reseller someday, but she's not sure if she does.
Yeah.
Look, she get all of this time, this one-on-one time with professional resellers to find out how to do
there's
this.
Shirley right there.
Yep. Shirley Plummer.
Hey, Shirley. Sorry. I remember the name now.
Morning, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
So
where you been?
Yeah, she's been hiding out.
I miss you, girl.
She probably did 50 listings this morning.
Probably, if not 100.
That girl's got a lot going on. She's got a wedding to plan and
oh God,
all that. So she's been busy.
Tell whoever's getting married that you're cutting their budget by $2,000 because that's what it'll cost to go on this cruise. Not necessarily, but that's just a good round number.
Yeah.
So you're not having the organic tulips. You're going to have to go with some regular old Florida tulips.
But yeah, I am looking forward to it. Definitely.
Thank you, Shirley. I'm just a big old goofy guy. I don't remember people.
Queen City Picker, what hurricane were you in? I was on a cruise that hit 2 hurricanes, Alberto and Beryl, in 2012. One going and one coming back.
We were in Hurricane Dolly which was like 95, 96.
Uh-huh.
We traveled, we flew to Tampa, and we went out of Tampa, and then we went to the Caymans and to Mexico and to New Orleans, and then back into Tampa.
Mm.
And I had to think there. My best friend and I, we always, and that's another thing too, we had to decide on whether we were early or late dinner. We had early dinner, and our wives were going to go shopping in the shops that's on the ship, and or go looking. And so we went up to on the ship we were on, which was a smaller ship. We were at the very top of the ship. There's the I start saying the flight deck, the captain's area, you know, where the controls and all are, the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And then right below it was some other space. I don't know what was there, but they had a walk around, catwalk around the front that you could go out there. So we were out there smoking cigars, and you know, it was pitch dark, so we were watching the stars, and you could see old rigs off at a distance, and we just noticed that it kept getting rougher, and the waves started getting bigger, and the stars started disappearing. And so we were standing there, you know, we're still smoking cigars and just talking about how nice it is out there. Because even though they were moving along pretty fast, the breeze was not like knocking you down.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the crew came walking around and said, y'all might want to move away from the front of the ship because it's getting ready to get wet and get rough up here. And probably about 30 minutes later, man, it was pouring. What happened? A lady had gotten really ill, and our first protocol was supposed to be, okay, let's see, we left Tampa, we had a day at sea. This was the day at sea that this happened. The next day was the Cayman Islands, and we had to get to the Cayman Islands because this lady got sick, so they could get her on an airplane back to the U.S. So instead of going around it, which is what they tried to normally do, we went right through the middle of it. And we were not on one of the big ships, but we went because we had the early dinner, because you have early and late sittings for the dinner in the main dining rooms. We had early, and then you have a show. Their big show is afterwards. So while we're having our show, the second seating is having dinner.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're way off the water. We must be 60 feet off the top of the water, and waves were breaking against the glass on the sides of the ship.
Wow.
The people were dancing on the stage, you know, and they would do a leap up, and the ship would hit a wake and go down, and so they would have like literally 3 feet of extra airtime in there. I had the opportunity to talk. We had an opportunity to talk to one of the people in the show, and they said, yeah, they were kind of concerned about breaking an ankle or something like that, because they weren't used to it. But you know, they work on ships.
Yep.
And but people were getting sick and throwing up every place. And like I said earlier, I'm okay if it's one of my own, but I don't want to hear people throwing up.
Right.
So I said, we need to go back to our cabin. And by that time, the captain came over and said, you know, he recommends everybody, it's going to get rough. Everybody go back to their cabins and just kind of relax. If you need something, the doctor can bring, you know, one of the doctors or the nurses will bring you up a shot, because Dramamine for some people was not working.
Wow.
And I think what they want to do is they want to get everybody off the floor so they can start cleaning the place up from all the people throwing up. Because, I mean, it was bad. So we get to our room. Oh, when we went to dinner, it was already getting a little rough. And we went to dinner, and we had like, every table has at least one waiter, or has a waiter, and they have a couple of bus boys, is what they call them. They're like junior waiters. And so we get in there, and the dining room is empty. And we're like, where's everybody at? Well, they're not eating. So we ordering our meal, you know, and we had like 3 or 4 busboys running around filling tea glasses and stuff like that because they didn't have anybody else to take, to work with. Our waiter said that he would take an order, and when he got back with like their salads, everybody would be gone. So anyway, we watched the show and we went back to our room like they suggested, and we were sitting there playing Uno. And I said, it's 11 o'clock. I'm getting a little hungry. So Sandy, my best friend's wife, she picks up the phone and she says, we'd like a pot of coffee and a pot of hot chocolate. And we'd like some 2 BLTs, and then we'd like some croissants with jam. And she said it got real quiet. And the guy on the phone said, you're ordering food. And she said, yes, if it's because of the weather, if that's a problem, then don't worry about it. He said, no. He says, we haven't had anybody call down here for even coffee. So they brought up our food, and actually they brought a lot of food up because I guess they, like the croissants, they had prepared them and nobody was there to eat them. But it was a lot of fun, even with the hurricane. The next day it was sunny and beautiful in the Cayman Islands.
Hi, Jody.
So, yeah, Texas Val says, keep on, Tom. No one's going to want to go on this cruise.
Oh, it's great. Hey, that's a memory. That is a memory. Most people, like Jason said, he went through, not Jason, who was it, said they went through too?
Fishing and picking.
Yeah, he said they went through too. Hey, it's a memory. It's something that most people don't realize. And I'm going to be when the zombie Geddon happens, I want to be on a cruise ship. Because as long as the fuel hangs in there, we will have electricity. And we can get rid of the zombies because we can throw their asses overboard.
They'll just come back.
Oh, Shirley says, my daughter went on a cruise for high school graduation, has averaged 1 a year since. She's 50 and Alaskan is her favorite.
Yep.
That's
I've
awesome.
heard a lot of really good things about Alaskan.
That's supposed to be beautiful. It's also expensive. And if, that's an option. If everybody likes it, wants to do it, you'd have to book that thing probably for 2025.
Yeah.
Because they fill up, because they only have a small window there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
yeah,
it's a great vacation.
And hopefully nothing will be going on like
right.
It is right now.
We're not going in hurricane season.
Right.
So we won't deal with hurricanes. The reason we went on the one during hurricane season, and probably the reason Fish and Pick went on it too, is because this is a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
Because there's always the potential for a hurricane. I say, batten down the hatches and bring me another bourbon and ginger ale. Let's ride this bitch till they shut it down. I mean, you just got, when you're on vacation, things happen, so you got to do it. But anyway,
well, especially with the coronavirus and like Jason said, my cousins just returned from their cruise and got 100% refund due to a crew member testing positive for influenza A. 3 of the 4 ports refused to let me disembark.
Yeah. So they've still got to feed you. And Carnival, like we got like a 50% off our next cruise off for Carnival, just for going through that little bit of 8 hours or 6 hours of the hurricane. We got 50% off our next one.
Right.
So they
is Roxy behind you? Oh, she is.
Now, since when Vanya is not Vanya is the one that works second shift at the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
When he comes in at midnight, if she's with me, she leaves me and she goes and gets on the foot of his bed. She sleeps on the foot of his bed because that's her buddy. That's her curly-haired brother. But so anyway, I'm gonna put out a video about it over the weekend, and with some links to some videos that you need to see. I mean, there's Elise has walked through the whole ship. You get to see basically the whole ship. For those that might have kids that might be going, you see the kids areas. There's a packing video she recommends. So I mean, you know how she packs, and they take 2 or 3 cruises a year, I think. But anyway, so I'm gonna put that out over the weekend, and so people can start thinking about it, because we need to really lock things down by the end of, by the end of March at least, because that'll give you April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That's going to give you about a good 12 months to pay for it, if you want to make the payments. People like Todd will just write a damn check for it and call it a day. But
Man, Jody, she says this is the first day she's been out of bed except to go to the doctor. She tested positive for the flu. I'm sorry. I hope you feel better.
yeah, me too. They had a lady, well, we don't know whether it's a lady or a man, at a nursing home here, assisted living here in North Carolina, that is our first positive for the coronavirus. And Roberta and I were talking about it last night. This woman has had no contact with anybody from outside of the country.
Yeah.
Is the coronavirus something that has been here all along, and they just hadn't given it a name or really identified it? And now they've, it might be the flu. It might be the flu that everybody, that was killing people last year.
Yeah.
As far as the cruise and the coronavirus, it'll either be cleared out or under control, or we will have a hell of a time on our hands. And I will think I'm going by the previous one. I don't think I think it'll be under control by then.
You know what? There's so much media brought on paranoia. Like even on my little, I have a little app on my phone that's for like news. Just because, it's good to know what's going on around you. It mostly gives me local news. So like if somebody is, having a fit and driving and, and has, cops on their tail or whatever through 3 counties or whatever, it'll be on my phone. But there's also stuff on there that has come up. Like last night it said something like, just so you know, you'll have to stay at home and be take a break from your everyday life for a while. And they're talking about the coronavirus. And it's like, why are they doing that?
Because they can't sell advertising. They can't sell advertising if they're not getting viewers. I mean, if you got the flu, if you got the regular old flu, you got the regular old common cold, you should stay at home and get out of your normal everyday activities and get over the thing.
Yeah.
I did see a video from like one of the vice presidents of the cruise lines and their cruise line, and he said they've stepped up. They really stepped up sanitary, making sure everything's sanitary to knock down the opportunity for any kind of illnesses, but mainly, they're pushing because the coronavirus is everything in.
Yeah.
Because because you got to think about it, you're on a confined space with a bunch of people. If people are scared of they're going to catch something like the coronavirus, they're not going to go on a cruise ship.
Right.
So, it's, Todd's going to be at the casino all the time. So he's going to be inside all the time. Roberta and I are going to be on the shady side of the ship watching the waves go by. and talking to people.
Hey, Roxy Cat.
And the young ones,
Hello.
yeah, tail. The young ones will be over on the sunny side. Wow, man, 27-foot waves. Yes, baby.
Yeah, that's
But when you're on a big, and the Vista is one of the bigger ships out there, so you don't have to worry about that.
what was she's trying to get her picture of herself.
Her butt, her tail's famous. But yeah, clickbait's it. You know, there's a lot of clickbait YouTubers out there, but the news really does push the clickbait stuff. But you're right. My news feed on my phone, it's one thing or after another. It's the coronavirus, the coronavirus, the coronavirus.
Yeah, I mean that's the news story. That's what's getting views, and that's what that's what they depend on. They that's news, and so
that's right. We're gonna have singles night.
there you go.
All of the single YouTubers, we're gonna
Hell yeah.
match you up.
There you go.
So the next year you won't be in the singles crowd. Valerie, did you hear what I was saying about we've had a case of the coronavirus here in North Carolina at a assisted living.
Oh, really?
With an older person that has had no contact with anybody from outside of the country. The people at the assisted living has had no contact with people that's been outside the country.
That's weird.
And Roberta and I were talking about the fact that has this been here all along, and now it's got a name, and all that kind of crap. And so the media can make a big thing out of everything.
They definitely can. Maybe it's the same strain as the coronavirus, or something that has to do with that, I don't know. I don't know how that's possible. If there's no, I don't know.
I think if the media would back off just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I understand you want to stay on top of it because, it could be, just like, what it's doing in China and everything. And, it could be a major outbreak or whatever. But I really think they need to look into, it's another strain of the flu.
Yeah.
Basically all it is.
That's what they said it was.
I mean, just like the swine flu, and it was just another strain of the flu, but because it was named swine, it was like, oh my gosh, we can't eat pork anymore,
Right.
And that's not,
Wasn't that H1N1?
Yeah. I mean, I think that just, I think they, they connect it to something and they make it sound a whole lot worse. And I'm not saying that it's not, but it's a flu.
Job had H1N1 and
people die from the flu every day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fact of life, but because they connect it to something else,
And he lived here at that time, and none of us got it.
Yeah.
He had it and none of us got it. So.
Fish, I don't know nothing about swinging. You'll have to just throw that amongst the rest of the party or see what's available on the ship. I don't swing.
They may have their own group for that.
Yeah.
No, it'll be fun.
Okay, Texas Val, hush. Let me tell you right now, you cannot fall off of a ship unless you're fucking around. Okay? The rails are too high. If if you're climbing up on them, yeah, you might fall off, but you're not supposed to be climbing on the rails.
If you're climbing off on the rails, you deserve to be thrown off that ship.
You need to be a rope tied around you, just drug behind the ship for a little while, you know, and then pull you back up and say, are you going to crawl on that, climb on that rail again? Because everybody, because I've made a lot of people mad because people, you know, like these people that are falling off of ships. No, they were drunk and they were just screwing around. Well, how
So
do you know that? Because I've been on a cruise ship and, you know, my fat ass couldn't even crawl up on top of one of those rails, more or less. Because they're
What
not
if-
at a standard, they're higher than a normal rail.
Yeah.
What if
'Cause
I
I'm-
want to pretend that I'm Rose on the
You,
Titanic.
Titanic?
the Titanic? Yeah.
Yeah, you want to go up to the front and say, Brandon, I'm flying, I'm flying.
Yeah.
After after a picture of Long Island iced tea, they'll even going down the aisle of the corridors of the ship going, I'm flying, I'm flying. Because that's
Okay,
my
Mrs. Nasser, it's time to go to your room now.
that's right. That's my Long Island iced tea is that's my medicine if I want to get tore up fast.
That'll do it.
It will.
That'll definitely do it, and
But-
it sneaks up on you.
Mine's Jaeger.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Yeah. Long Island, I see you're sitting there drinking that stuff and it's like, damn, this is good. And you
Yep.
feel fine.
Yep.
But when you turn, you slide around and stand up and
Yeah.
you stand up, it's like,
Oh,
Yeah.
tell the
It-
captain
it
to put
hits
the stabilizers down, please. This floor is rocking.
All right, I'm gonna go do battle.
All right.
Okay, you got to pay for a cruise, so you need to find some
Get
good
your-
stuff today.
Get your
great,
armor
good
on.
stuff.
Yep. Gird up my loins and,
There
and
you go.
Go find some good stuff.
Have fun.
bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, Sherry says my little old men neighbors just sang to me. They're so cute. There are two Greek guys that live in the two condos across from me. They're cousins. They sit outside almost every day, even in the cold. I call them the Greek mafia, and they're my security guards. So that's cool.
Sherry, do you live in a over 55 community or something? Yesterday in the chat, she was talking about her husband's fight, arguing with the guys around them, the old guys around her about politics. That was Sherry, wasn't it? Yeah, that was Sherry.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. It was. Jason says, true story. Our last cruise, our dinner friends told us last week they were on board for 2 weeks. A lady in a wheelchair rolled backwards unattended at the port and went over the pier. Guys dove in. Oh my gosh.
Rescued
That's
her.
terrible. That's just people not paying attention there.
Yeah.
But you cannot fall. I'm telling you, you cannot just fall over the side of a ship.
No.
You're messing around. You've had
Hey,
way too many
Nikki.
drinks, and you think you can fly.
Yeah. Yes. Jody said, did you guys pick a date and for the cruise and destination? Yes. So May, I think it's the first part of May, 2021. So next May,
And it's out of
out of Galveston.
right, and it's like Cozumel, Caymans, and I think it's one of the private islands.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'll put links in to the group. Well, like I said, I'm going to do a video, so
Yeah,
about
that'll
it.
be good.
I'm trying to make it cute. So feel free to give me like, oh, that's terrible, Tom. The cruise sounds great, but your acting is terrible.
Okay.
Oh, it's
All
a
right,
regular
Nikki.
condo community, but mostly seniors. Okay.
Nikki, have a good day. Yeah, it sounds like good times.
Love you too, Nikki. God, all you old people are just.
Mary says you underestimate my clumsiness, Tom.
Let me tell you what. If that's a concern, then I will find one of those old time prison ball and chains to hang around your feet, so you can't get more than your feet will not go up more than a foot off the ground. So anyway, stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get something going. I just think it'll be a great time. We might all hate each other after, but we'll go into it saying we're gonna have a great time and we're gonna love being with everybody for a week.
We're gonna have a blast. It'll be fun.
It will be. You can tell
And
your
then everybody
girls.
else will hear about it when we get back, and they'll see how much fun we had.
Then
and
everybody will be doing it.
Everybody else will want to be going on it.
Yep.
So, but I think it's a long time coming.
Yeah.
You know, and if you were planning, think of it this way: if you were planning on going to eBay Open, and you know they're not having that anymore, so you can just put your money away for that.
And we're not planning any. I'm not. Well, I haven't really discussed it with Valerie, but we're not really planning on having any like organized meetings or anything like that.
No.
Now, if somebody from like eBay or Poshmark or they want to take a business trip and come along, and we can see about doing it in the room for a little while and they can talk. That's one thing. But we're not.
I don't even think that I would want to do that. I don't even think that I would want. I think because I mean, if you look at it, I mean, eBay Open, that was more networking. That was more, hanging out and meeting new people, and meeting the people that you see on eBay and YouTube and stuff. I don't think that people are really drawn to the meetings or the the talks, or I don't think that I don't want that to be what this is about. I want it to be more networking and just having fun. Yeah. I want it, that's what I want.
And there's a bunch of people in Texas. There's a lot of resellers in Texas.
That's all about. Yeah, there are. Definitely.
All about the partying.
Yeah, OJ said last story, same trip. They said a 14-year-old boy jumped overboard drunk and no one saw. The captain got a call from another ship captain telling him he was missing a passenger. They just happened to see him. Okay, just a word of advice here. They will leave you, they will put you off the ship at the next port of call if you're giving minors alcohol.
Oh,
that is a no-no.
Yeah, you don't do that.
So, that they will put you off, and you say you find your way back to America.
Yeah.
I mean, because they just, that's not going to happen.
There's so many people that are on that ship, like all throughout the night, all through the day. There's always people walking the halls, in the quarters, and there's the stewards and there's enough people on there that they're going to realize. Right. And if they don't realize, one of the passengers is going to realize. So, but you know what? Shit happens.
Yeah.
His mom didn't even know he was gone.
His mom. Shit happens,
And I would have grabbed him and I would have hugged him and said, "Oh God, I'm glad you're okay, and I love you so much." And then you'd have heard flop, 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 flop. As my belt came out of that belt loop where I beat his ass for drinking.
But I mean,
$250,000 fine. Holy sheesh!
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Because it's always the cruise.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know, Jason knows, everybody who's been on a cruise recently knows you just don't fall off of a ship.
Right.
And first thing that comes up is, passenger falls off cruise ship. Isn't it when it should be drunk passenger falls off a cruise ship doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. But that, once again, that's the media, you know, they got to get a rise out of it.
Mhm.
So y'all stay tuned for that. We want to get this thing going.
Yeah.
So we can look forward to everybody.
I appreciate all the work that you've done.
I just think it would be, well, as you can tell, I'm a loner. I don't like, you know, I don't like talking to people. I don't like being around people. No, I just think it would be a blast because we've all got to know each other. We know so much about each other's lives.
Yep.
You know, a little more than about Brandon than I care to know about after yesterday's little insightful notice. But, I just think it'd be a lot of fun. You know what? I sound like I beat my kids all the time, Shirley. Vanya, he got his butt tore up on a regular basis because he was the one that would say, I would say to him, Vanya, if you don't straighten up, I'm gonna beat your butt. And he would turn around and point that little narrow butt at me and say, go ahead. And of course, I would have to tear him up.
Yeah, you'd have to fall.
No, really not. Not really. They've had, you know, like all kids, they have their times, but I'm not afraid. I wasn't afraid to.
Right.
You know, call DSS. See whose house you like being at better.
That's right. That's right. That is true.
A YouTuber jumped off a cruise ship to make a video. The cruise line fined and banned him for life. Oh yeah. They do have a brig on the ship.
Monday, Sherry.
So you know,
Jody
they take stuff serious. They want you to have a great time.
Sure. I mean, but there has to be rules, and they have to be safe, and they have to make stiff consequences for stupid people because if they, you know, I mean, they got to. I mean, they got a lot of stuff riding on, you know, on their cruise line and their, you know, their company. So they got to be sticklers on all the rules and the fines and
anything. That I went to, I had to have a tire put on Vanya's car yesterday. So I went to the bathroom and there was a leak. The toilet was leaking and there was water all over the place. And I walked back out and I said, you know, well, there was a caution wet sign, you know, one of those little flippy yellow signs.
Yeah.
Sally might have them at the store. I leaning against the wall. I picked it up and I set it as you know, in there by the toilet. And I went outside. I went back out to the counter and I said, you know, y'all got a water leak in the bathroom. And he said, I appreciate you telling that. I said, well, you know, I said, you don't want any more damage to be done than possibly done now, but that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And he says, tell me about it. He says, that's one of our training classes, avoiding lawsuits.
Yeah.
And, but you know, they got so much, these cruise ships have so much liability.
Sure.
If they really charge people for all the liability that they have to cover,
that wouldn't make no money.
You couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Hey, Fish, when I turn 65, Roberta's gonna let me do a transatlantic on one of the freighters. I'm gonna see if I can get a bunch of old guys together to go. You fly to Sweden and you board one of the big, you know, big cube ships. And it takes you like 12 days to get back.
Shirley says, my secret with my son was pick your punishment. He was always harder on himself than I would have been. There you go.
I've mentioned her before, the friend of mine that had the black lady that was their nanny. They called her nanny. His older brother got in trouble at school one day, and she got a phone call and their parents were out of town. They said, you have to come get him. He's been suspended for fighting for 3 days. She said, no, he hasn't. I'll be there in a few minutes. So she got one of the farmhands to drive her to the school. And in the lunchroom, she beat his behind with a damn belt.
Mm.
Oh my
And
God.
she said, "You will finish your lunch and then you will go to your classroom." And and he was like 17.
Oh,
Woo!
God.
She said, we will discuss this further when you get home. But you will finish your lunch and you will go to your classroom, and I better not hear anything else from you. The principal said, the principal said, "No, man, he's got to go home. He's been suspended." And Jerry, the older brother, said she turned around and looked at him with the belt and said, "He's going back to class." And he said, "Yes, ma'am."
Wow.
No, her belt was called Buster.
Oh my. Well, that's a good
Because
name
Buster
for
was
it.
on Bust Your Ass if she had to pull it out of her purse. And she
Exactly.
always had it in her purse.
Oh my
gosh.
God.
And the boy he got in the fight with, his father had come there, and he said he said to his son, he says, "You can either take what she's dishing out, or you can go home for 3 days, and your life's going to be a lot more miserable." And so she ended up beating him too. And I'm saying beating. I'm not saying spanking.
Yeah.
She could make a belt, because I know I've been on the wrong end of that belt before. She could make that sucker sing as it went through the air.
Well,
But she did it out of love. She did it out of love.
I hope you feel better, Jody. She's going
Yeah.
back.
Feel better, Jody.
Take your medicine and go crawl back in bed and get nice and warm. And I hope you feel better soon.
If you take a little Southern recipe, a little grits and turpentine, that'll make you feel a lot better. I don't know where the hell that came from, but I've heard that all my life. Little grits and turpentine. You love sick, grits and turpentine. You got diarrhea, grits and turpentine. I guess at some point in life in the South, they had plenty of turpentine and they had plenty of grits.
Sounds like it. Sounds like it. Well,
it's 11 o'clock. I'm sorry I dominated your show.
No, you did fine.
So y'all be on the lookout for the cruise video. We're gonna get together. I want to see Valerie at the Cellarway party, which they have out on the main deck. I want to see her out there boot scooting, boogieing. That purple hair glistening in the and Sister Sally right beside her.
That's right. That's right.
Texas Val on the other side of her.
Sherry says, "Do not take turpentine." Yeah, that's not good.
I don't know where that. I don't know where that came from, but I've just heard that so many times from old Southern people.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. I hope everybody has a great day. We'll see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
And get some stuff listed and make some sales, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great rest of your day, especially Sherry.